Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Next Goal Wins. Today we're talking transfer news. The first big news then is that Aston Villa look ready to accept a £32.5 million bid for Christian Benteke from Liverpool. £32.5 million is a lot. It's a lot for Benteke. Obviously that's his release clause and that's why it's going to be bid, but I can't help but feel it's going to be another Andy Carroll type. People think they've overpaid, even if they kind of do alright for Liverpool. But yeah, £32.5 million looks like it's going to be the fee agreed. Benteke, we know what he brings. He's been in the Premier League. Big, strong, powerful forward, good in the air, can finish well, but Liverpool will have to fit Liverpool's style of play. That's something that's going to have to be interesting to see how he fits into the team, because they haven't had that kind of lone striker, big, strong striker before. I mean, Sturridge could play with him, obviously, as a pair. People like Coutinho in behind him, but they need people to be able to whip it in. They need people who can cross, and at the moment they haven't really got out-and-out wingers who can cross the ball, and they've got people like Origi, who's kind of a dribbler, not crossers. So if they do get Benteke for this £32.5 million, then I think they need people who can cross the ball in to Benteke to supply him, because that's what Aston Villa have. They have two good fullbacks who, in essence, can cross the ball in Hutton, who can whip it in, and Benteke can put it in, and that's where a lot of his goals come from. So the £32.5 million bid, I'm sure, will be accepted. Obviously, it has to be if it's a release clause, and he'll go to Liverpool, but it'll be interesting to see how he actually does at Liverpool and if they can find the service for him. Next up is that Sunderland have signed Jermaine Lens from Dynamo Kiev. Man got a lot of assists last season for Dynamo. He's been touted by a lot of English clubs in the past, but eventually at the age of 29 he's got his move over here. Good player he is. He is Lens, kind of fast winger that everyone knows about. Got a lot of pace that can be dangerous for defenders, but also he's got a good final product, unlike some people like Aaron Lennon, for example. So for Sunderland, you think it'd be a good signing. £8.5 million being talked about for that one. Another one for Sunderland, but Younes Kaboul is going to be signing on a £3 million deal from Tottenham. Good centre-half Kaboul, been good for Tottenham for a few years. Obviously through that Ledley King Dawson period where they were at their elite, he didn't get a lot of game time, but since then he kind of got a lot of game time until last season again when he was out of the team. But a good signing for Sunderland, I think that'll be improvement on Wes Brown and John O'Shea. And with Coates as well, it looks like their back four could be getting more sorted. Another one is that West Ham look like they want to re-sign Alex Song. Obviously, he had his loan spell at West Ham last season and impressed West Ham fans and must have impressed Bilic, the incoming manager. Looks like they want to wrap him up for another season. And talking of defensive midfielders in London, Chelsea look like they want to bring in Axel Witsel, apparently, in the Sun today. Talking that they want to sign Axel Witsel from Zenit St Petersburg. Witsel, Belgium centre defensive midfielder, it was a Fellaini-esque mould. He sits deep, he can spread the ball, but he's kind of a tough tackling defensive midfielder who also can burst forward, kind of a Yaya Toure type, but doesn't get as many goals as Toure. He's strong in midfield, can offer good kind of tackling and support for the back four. Going forward, he doesn't offer too much, but for Chelsea, I mean, they've got Matic, obviously, who plays that role already, and Ramirez, maybe, but I imagine Ramirez would be moved out if they get Witsel, but I think it'll be a good signing. Witsel's a player I highly rate. Another kind of big talking point is that Louis van Gaal has informed Victor Valdes that he will be leaving the club, and Valdes this morning put on a post on his social media account, kind of sly dig at the Manchester United manager, who says that he's basically letting him go because he refused to play for the team, but Valdes saying that he's played for the under-21s loads of times before, but he shouldn't be playing for reserves, he deserves more, which in a way you can see Valdes' point of view. I mean, he's a player who's played lots of games for a top-class team like Barcelona. He doesn't want to be playing for Manchester United reserves. And finally, to end on Manchester United, the big news out of them is it looks like Di Maria could be going. His odds on to leave now to Paris Saint-Germain, but it looks like Van Gaal could be ready to let him leave. Obviously, it's all just paper talk still, but I'm sure they'd recoup a lot of the money they spent on him if Paris Saint-Germain did take him off their hands. I can't really see why they'd sell him, though, because Di Maria didn't have a brilliant season last season, but still got a fair amount of assists, still finished second most assists in the Premier League, so with Sigurdsson, so, you know, I can't see why they'd let him go. He's a player who we all know has massive talent, and I'm sure he'll just grow next season in the Premier League. And now they've signed these great players, they shouldn't let him go, they should build as the unit together. That's all for this little transfer video. Please like the video, leave your comments below, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.